Welcome Shivnana Foundation, HCL, friends and family from across India, maybe across the world. And we already know that there are more than hundreds of people live for this absolutely super episode of Shivnana Foundation Conversations. And today we have the absolutely incredible, awesome superstar, world badminton champion, PV Sindhu. Welcome to the show, Sindhu.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute privilege for us at the Shivnana Foundation to welcome you and for you to have accepted to be part of this conversation with us exclusively. It's an absolute joy for me to have this conversation with you, and I'm sure there are millions of fans. You know, I saw the World Championship video again. I think there are only about 2 million people who watched that video. It's just an incredible game. It feels so proud of you and what you do. I will tell you what we do while we have this conversation. I have questions which will pop up here. And I invite everyone who's watching the show to send in your questions. I'll be able to read those questions, ask Sindhu your question which you want to ask her. Sindhu, the foundation has children from nursery to PhD students, and there are people in and around NCR, they're in Chennai, they're in other parts of India, of HCL, and there are also many parts of the world where alumni are there. So people are getting to hear you live from across the world. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us, right?
Thank you.
Okay. So I think the first question always everyone asks at this point of time to everybody, and here's the opportunity to ask you that question. How does a world champion manage a lockdown, and how are you doing in Hyderabad? How's it going?
Yes, I think firstly, thank you so much for inviting me, and also I think as you know, I've been in OGQ as well, and they've been very, very supportive and you supporting it. I think it's really great, and HCL and Shivnana's foundation has been really, very kind enough to actually support. And once again, I thank you all for inviting me. And yes, as you know, everybody should share their homes, and I think this is the first time that I'm spending a lot of time with my family members, because every time I'm just traveling and going around and just play matches and come back, and maybe just for like a week, and then that too I go for training and come back. Not really much I spend time with family, but I think now 24 hours, and then I don't know, it's been more than 15 days, I think so, more than 21 days that I'm at home, training at home, and learning new things, because this is the time we get to learn new things. So I think I take it in a very positive way, rather to take it in a negative way where you think that you can learn a lot more newer things. So I'm coping up really well. I'm enjoying with my nephew and with my family. So yeah.
That's lovely to hear. That's a great message to stay positive in these times. And so obviously everyone knows that you're an absolute champion badminton player. So what else do you do, and what are the new skills you're learning?
Well, I've been learning definitely, yes. One is actually I had to just be self-quarantined because I came from England, and then I didn't come out for like 21 days, and I didn't meet my nephew. It was like I was missing him really a lot, but then he was just two houses away from me, and I couldn't meet him because I came from England. So I was at home and I was learning. Of course, I used to do my activities in the morning, and I just draw a little bit here and there, and then I was learning stitching from my mom. So these are the few things that I've been learning from her.
Okay, so fantastic to hear. So, all of us, of course, know of the incredible parents that you have, in the sense that your father played for India, your mother played for India, your father's a bronze medalist at the Asian Games. Obviously, you have great genes. I'm going to ask you about that a little later, but tell us about your early years and what inspired you to play badminton.
Well, I started at the age of 8.5, and it was my own interest that I've come into badminton. Of course, yes, my parents were volleyball players, and a lot of people ask me why not volleyball, why badminton. But I think it was my own interest that I've come into badminton because besides the volleyball court, there was a badminton court. So that's how I started off just for fun. Well, initially when I started, I never thought that okay, I'll become a Olympic silver medalist or a world champion. But I started off, it was just step by step for me, and then one by one, step by step, I've been improving, and I've been here. I think it's all because of my parents' support and their encouragement. And I'm really very lucky to have parents like them because they know what sport is, and I think and they've experienced it. So in one way, I'm very lucky. Yes.
I also jump into, other than the few questions which I have sort of prepared, but I'll also ask you as we speak. So when you jumped into badminton, when did Gopi sir come into the picture?
Well, first I used to play in my railway grounds. That like 2-3 kilometers because my dad used to work. So I think for 2 years I played there, and when I was 10, I shifted to Gopi Sindhu Academy. So like my first coach was Muhammad Ali and Mehboob Ali. So that's where I started off, and also the railway players used to be there because my dad used to ask them, to make me play so that I would get that opportunity to play with a lot of senior players. So I could learn a lot. So I think 10 and a half, yes, I shifted to Gopi Sindhu Academy.
Okay, great. So I'm going to jump into some of the questions which are already coming in. So how are you training even in the midst of the lockdown? And there's one which is very related to this, which is the pandemic putting athletes at mental health risk as they are forced to go into isolation, shunning their highly active lifestyle? So how are you staying mentally and physically fit? I think that's the sort of question. This is from Ashutosh asking that question.
Okay. So yeah, actually, a lot of people ask me saying that, are you not feeling, bad that Olympics shifted or you're not playing any tournaments? But I think you must agree to what has happened, and you need to take it in a positive way where, okay, it has come out and the virus is really bad, and at this time, I think staying home is the safest thing right now, and you have to, of course, maintain the social distance. And yes, physically, and a lot of people might feel a bit low. I think for them out there, I would just say that I think it's very important. I think these are the times you need to be positive mentally and physically. Well, for me, I just keep myself busy in learning new things and doing my activities and stuff because I think it is important, especially like for our players where we travel and play like every day. If we don't do something and we are like, okay, today it's really boring. I mean, what's next? What are we going to do next at home? So for me, yes, I do exercises. My trainer gives me exercises, but of course we don't have that much equipment. But accordingly, we'll have to do the exercises where actually we can burn out few calories, like maybe do 1 hour or 1.5 hours of exercise, and learn new things. In that way, you actually spend time with your family, and it's a really good thing that you enjoy and keep changing as well.
Obviously you're a great inspiration for us when you play, and it's obvious that you're an inspiration for us even in this lockdown period when people don't know how to cope with being inside and the mental difficulties of it. So obviously just stay positive and make the best of the situation you have. In between you talked about both the World Championship as well as the Olympic silver medal. So here's the question. Which is bigger, the World Championship gold or the Olympic silver medal?
Well, I think both of them are comparatively very different because first is I think Olympics 2016 when I won that the silver medal. Well, my life has changed a lot, and I think the most memorable one and which I can never forget also is the World Championships again because I have 2 bronze and 2 silver and finally gold. So I think that is also one of the most memorable one because it was much needed for me because I was like, enough now, I don't want the silver again because I already had 2 silver and 2 bronze and I thought, okay, it's time to get gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if there are more questions. Um, I think this is really good. Gopal Rao wants to know, when you lose a highly intensive, hard-fought match, how do you keep yourself motivated? And I think this is a great lesson at this point.
I think.
Yeah. When the chips are down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's normal that people tend to feel sad, tend to get upset, and it's a human nature where when you lose matches, where you play like 1.5 hours and stuff. Like for example, I played in 2017 against Okuhara, and that is one of the longest matches, and it was anybody's game. Well, I felt really really bad, but I think you will learn a lot more from your mistakes, and that's how I've learned a lot more from my mistakes, and I bounced back. And it's very important to know that you will learn a lot more while losing. And definitely, I think it is sad sometimes, but it's important that you come out from that and come back much more stronger.
Yeah, I remember in that Olympic semifinals, or rather the finals. The whole of India was rooting for you, and for a second it looked at the end of the game that you're a little disappointed or dejected. But I think when you came on the podium, you were all smiling and very happy, and that was a great inspiration for us. How did you do that?
Yes, definitely. I think it's I've never expected. I got what I've not expected, because for me it was my first Olympics, and I thought I need to play well, I need to give my best. But round by round, I started winning, and finals, yes, I've given my 100%. But at the end of the day, one can win. So I've never expected, and I've got it. So I think we have to be happy for it.
I spoke to you before we went live about this little joke, that there's one thing I definitely have more than Sindhu in badminton, which is that I've been playing for 55 years, right? So,
yeah.
so this is a very badminton question. There's lots of badminton lovers out there, so I'm sure they would love to ask you this. Okuhara in the World Championship final, right? 33 minutes, 21-7, 21-7. It looked as if you were playing against world number 200. What is the magic behind that? Is it that you just had one of those incredible days, or was there a lot of strategy and tactics and a lot of planning which went into before the game?
Actually, there was no strategy or tactics, but because we played so many times that we know each other's game and we know the strategy. So it's not that we have a particular strategy against her, but it's just that we both of us know each other's game. It's just that when you go onto the court, if we need to go with a strategy, but if plan A doesn't work, you need to go with the plan B. And it's just you that when you go into the court, you need to change it accordingly, and it needs to be so fixed that you need to be ready for the next point. So in the World Championship, where the whole week went on really, really well for me, like from the first round, until the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and also the finals. So I must say it's been a wonderful week, and of course I wanted it a lot more. And I was like, before the match, everybody would have this feeling that you need to play well, you need to give your best. So it was the same with me. And I also was prepared for a very long match, because in 2017 it was one of the longest matches. But from the starting, I just took the lead and went on, and yeah, I finished it off. So I didn't get a chance, apparently.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear that. Sometimes we always say this in leadership, that no plan really survives contact. You got to get onto the court, and when you're down in the playing field, you have to sort of decide yourself as to what you need to do also. And I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sort of COVID is teaching us that. Whoever thought of plan for this, and you have to have plan Bs and plan Cs in your life too. So that's fantastic to hear. Oh, here's a question which I'm sure has come from a student, because it says anonymous, but it's obviously some student who loves sport and doesn't think too much of academics. So how did you balance your academics and sports in your school days?
Well, yes, I think studies and sports is very equally important. And sport, I think you know, you need to have a bit of knowledge as well. So of course I completed my M. So I feel it's very, very important, and it's not that tough to manage, because you know, I used to, when I used to study, people get really stressed and they're like, okay, I think it's enough of studying now. But when you actually go out and play for a while and come back, I think that focus will be a lot more on studies as well. So I should say it's easy to, you know, play sport and also come back and, you know, do your studies. I think that would actually improve your concentration, and that would be easy for you.
So students who are watching this, keep your academics up there too, right? Okay. Okay, let's go to another question, which is again, okay, that's a nice one. If you were to choose some other career, which would that be?
Well, I've never thought about some other career. Since when I was young, I took up badminton and I continued playing. So I never had second thoughts, like never. So yeah.
Sindhu, plan B. You must have a plan B. Tell us what could be the.
Well, initially, my sister is a doctor. So
Okay.
we have like 7 years of difference. Her name is Divya. So, you know, when she wanted to, she was studying MBBS, I thought, okay, even I want to become a doctor, but then I think sports is much more easier.
No.
More planning. Yeah.
Okay, here's a question which I said I'll come back to you. You know, you are a child of two absolutely gifted sports people who have achieved so much in their own sporting life. And it's a question I think all of us would love to know, that is there one part of sport which is just like genetic, gifted, the talent just comes from it within, and then you can work on the hard part of it and work hard? Or is it like you can just work hard and become a top sportsman, even if you're not really gifted? What do you feel?
Well, I think everything needs to be equal. Like, you know, everything needs to be chained up, because, you know, it needs to be skill. You need to work hard, and at the same time, you need to be smart. It's not just that you keep working hard, you know, and you're not smart enough, or you just have your skills and you're not working hard. So you need to have everything in equal, because, you know, that is very, very important for a player. Because even in physical and mental strength, I think it's important to be mentally and physically strong at times, because if you're physically strong and mentally not strong, I think that's wrong. And if you're mentally strong and physically not strong, that's not going to work. So you need to be equally strong everywhere. So when it comes to badminton, when it comes to sport, you need to be smart enough. You need to have skill, and also you need to work hard.
Okay, thank you so much. Here's one more from someone who's asking, I'm passionate about badminton. I've been playing at university level for the last 2 years. I'm 21 years old. Is it too late for me to get professional training and represent India at an international level?
Well, it depends on how he or she is playing, and at the same time, you need to know, like, you know, because from the starting level, I think from the grassroots level, it's important that to know how you holding the grip and how you playing the stroke. Stroke is right or not. Are you cutting the shuttle or not? So there are a lot of things to observe, and you need to have the right person and right coach and the right fitness and training for that particular person to know if he or she can play badminton at a professional level.
Okay, so you got to figure it for yourself as to where you are. All right, so here's a question which I also thought I must ask you, which is, who's your all-time opponent or competitor or arch rival, but you'd love to play every time you step onto the field? So I wanted to ask you, are left-handers tough to play? I'm a left-hander, and you're Marin and you have a head-to-head which is slightly tilted in Marin's favor, but she's an incredible player too. But who's your absolute all-time opponent? You know, the Rafael Nadal, Federer type of story.
Well, I must say that I think from 1 to 15 players, I think everyone is of same level, same standard. So it just depends on that day who plays well and gives their best. And also, I must say that nobody is like unbeatable. Yes, everyone is beatable, but it depends on that particular day, like, you know, how it is and what it is. Because at times you might play brilliantly, at times you're just like, you know, nothing goes right. and you're just like hitting everything into the net. You make unforced errors. But yeah, I must say it's just on that particular day. It depends on that particular day.
And the men's and the women's game, anyone you've sort of idolized when you were coming up?
Yes, of course, I really like Lindan's game, the way he plays.
Lefty.
Lefty. I really like to watch. Yeah.
Okay. He has always lots of time, right? He looks as if he has so much time to play. He's never rushed.
Yeah, I think the way he just hits shuttle like where the opponent is not there, and it's like the way he moves, it feels like he can't take the shuttle, but initially he just catches the shuttle like really high. So yeah, he's definitely an amazing player.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so all these badminton fans of yours are asking lots of badminton questions, right? But let me ask you a non-badminton question. And I just checked, you are 178 centimeters and 60 kgs, which means you are 3 centimeters taller than me and 22 kgs lighter. So what do you eat, and how do you maintain such fitness when whatever you eat? Like, give us eating tips.
Well, my policy is that you eat, but definitely, yes, you need to avoid a bit of junk food and oily food. But yes, I do eat rice. It's not like I diet and only eat grilled vegetables. No, I do eat rice because, since when I was young, I used to eat rice. So I got used to it, and I eat all types of vegetables and also non-veg as well. So apart from that, yeah, as I said, we need to avoid a bit of junk food and oily food. So yeah, it's not that I have a particular diet, but for me, it's just that you eat, but you train hard. Whatever you eat, you need to train hard. That's the simple policy.
So all the badminton players in Shivnara Foundation know pakoras, samosas, and those sort of things. Okay, if you want to really play at a higher level, that's what the message from Sindhu. Okay, this is something I'm sure.
Once in a while is fine, but yeah, not always.
Sorry.
I said once in a while is fine, but not always.
Okay, the coaches will hear that. Okay, this is one about Gopi sir, who actually we always look up to and admire as much as you probably. But he's been such an inspiration, such a Buddha-like figure. When you're, everybody else is bursting with emotion. But at the Shivnara Foundation, all of us are teachers, professors, mentors, and coaches to our students. So from that perspective, what's a message for you, for us as teachers and mentors of young people? What are the qualities of mentoring and coaching?
I'm sure, definitely mentors and coaches and teachers out there are working really hard. And I think it's really good that, they give their 100% towards their children, towards their trainees or whoever it is. But at the same time, I think it's very important to understand individually, because every individual has a different mindset. Everyone has different thinking. So you need to understand what it is and how it is, because, everyone might not react the same way. So I think it's very, very important that every individual is comparatively different, and you need to accordingly respond to that, and you need to accordingly teach them, or for me, especially in badminton, I think, we are comparatively different. Like, I think it's maybe Srikanth or, Saina or me are totally different. It's just that for me, it's more of like, he needs to make me understand, okay, this is what it is. So that connection between a mentor and a trainee is very, very, very important.
So you got to figure each individual and sort of figure that while you're coaching and mentoring. Okay.
Some people might not, because some people might not like, others might take it in a positive way. Some people might not take it in a positive way. So, it's comparatively very different. Yeah. Mentally, it's very different.
Okay, I think there are lots of badminton questions. I'm skipping a few, but Karthik wants to know, who do you think is the fastest, Taizu or Carolina Marin, and how do you prepare against both of them?
Well, fastest, I think, is Carolina, but skill is Taizu. She's very skillful. So both of them are very different comparatively, And I must say, I think with both, you need to play very differently. Where with Carolina, she's a very fast player and you need to be very quick on your feet all the time. Just because she doesn't give you enough time. But with Taizu, I think you need to be alert on your feet because she is very skillful and she flicks the shuttle really good. So you need to always have your eyes on the shuttle. So yeah, it's very, very important to just be on your feet and alert.
So you got to play differently depending on who the opponent is, right? Okay.
Yes.
Being a woman, what challenges did you come across in getting to where you are currently?
Well, I've never had any challenges, or I've never had equalities where people said that you shouldn't do this, you should not do that. But it's always that my parents always encouraged me and supported me, and we never had that feeling. Like they never got this feeling where we are girls and this is what we need to do. But they just said that okay, you go, you do whatever you want, you just play and you work hard, and we're always there behind you. So we've never had like challenges. Yeah.
Up to you. Okay. Vedantam Srinivas wants to know, very inspirational, Sindhu. Thank you so much. Both my daughters are big fans of yours. What you advise to all children who are sitting at home at this lockdown time in spite of spending their summer holidays at grandparents' location? What's your advice to the children?
It's a bit sad. I know it's a bit sad, and everybody wants to enjoy and go, go to their friend's place or go to the grandparents' place or go for a holiday. But I think since I said, and a few people are really, really young, but I think it's important that parents entertain them somehow and understand their children and teach them new things at home. I think it's really a very good time because every time it's just school, come back and homework and go to friends and play out. But I think this is the right age that you spend time with your kids and teach them new things.
This is a very unusual question, Pratish P. It looks like a bit personal, so you don't need to answer if you don't have to. But what does Sindhu like about Sindhu and hate about Sindhu?
Okay, so I'm very jovial. I'm very, very friendly, yes, and I think hate would be I'm very sensitive. So I think when I lose matches, I do cry, yes. And I think those two, yes. I'm very, very friendly, yeah.
That's so lovely to hear. I was telling you before we went live that I went past you in the Pune airport and I was so tempted to come up to you and ask the usual selfie, but I didn't want to intrude on you. Cannot even believe that I get to do this with you and talk to you and go live. It's so good for the foundation. So it's absolutely fantastic that you say that you're friendly, that I would have probably come and met you there. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people might think I'm very aggressive because on court I'm very different and off court I'm very different. So I want people to know that I think I'm very friendly off court, but yes, on court, I'm very aggressive where I shout. So outside I'm totally different.
And people see you only on court,
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Many players, Sundar Mehta wants to know, many players have routines, habits, and superstitions when they travel and play badminton. Do you have any individual quirky things that you do before a game? Any superstitions?
Yes, I do believe in God. And I do believe in God. And, just before going to the match, I just pray to God that I need to play well and give my best. And from that, it's just that, you have to just go play out there. And I'm not like very superstitious, but yes, I do believe in God.
We're going to wind down. We have booked your time and we have another 5 odd minutes. So we will ask a few more of these questions from our audience. So many of them are here now. Sports nowadays is of mind games along with specific skills. How do you prepare yourself mentally for tough matches against aggressive opponents?
Yes, mentally we need to be very, very. So I do meditation. I started off doing meditation. It's been like 1 year now, so that it keeps me calm and it keeps me going. And also, it makes me understand that you need to understand where winning and losing is a part of life, and it's okay to lose at times because a lot of people think that I'm losing all the time and I think I will quit. I think that is the time when you have to think that it's okay. There's also more way to go on. It's not just over this, but you just need to keep working hard, and definitely you will get it one day.
Okay. And this, I think, lots of people, as they're hearing you, will always be asking, and it's an obvious question that you come across as such an easygoing, personable person for all that you've achieved at such a young age. So Piyush is asking, how do you keep yourself grounded when you're getting success after success?
Well, I think we have to remember that we have come from where, like we have come up from that level, and how much ever level you go to, and I think you have to always know that from where you come. And I think my mom and dad always told me that no matter what, how much ever high you go, you need to always be grounded to the earth. So I think that is very important for every individual, I must say.
That's so wonderful for the young people to hear that. This is anonymous, but I think it's a very deep question. A lot of young people struggle with this. But the question is, ma'am, so it must be a young lady or a young man, did you ever feel like quitting badminton when you weren't able to perform well? Young people want to quit a lot early these days, yeah.
I know, yeah. No, I've never felt that way, but yes, there are a few things where when I used to lose, I used to really feel bad. That is when my parents always encourage me and support me. So I think one answer is to the parents where you need to support your children in whichever sport they want to, and definitely they will work hard and definitely they will enjoy sport. So it's very important that parents support is very, very important. That's one thing. And I think second thing is I've never thought I want to quit badminton because every time I started playing, every time I was playing, I was lucky enough that I kept winning and winning. Well, initially, yes, when I came to the senior level, I kept losing, but I always had a thought that what's going on or what I need to improve rather than thinking that I need to quit or nothing is going on, nothing is going in my way. So I always took it in a very positive way where I always thought that it's okay, what's next, what's the next step, or what I need to improve, or what mistakes did I do in that match. So losing teaches you a lot more, and you also learn from your mistakes. So that is how I've overcome and I've come so far.
I think this is sort of a related one. This is also very much who we are as India. You all have given us so much of success in the last 15, 20 years of India's sporting life, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli to all of you in badminton. So many of you started with Saina and you, and even the men's, 7 of them, I think, are in the top 50. But, so somebody's asking, you've played 5 world championship and you did get 5 medals, but the question is, you have overcome the losing streak in finals in major tournaments. How did you overcome that? Not that you got that far.
Yes,
how did you
I think in 2018 I almost lost in like 7 finals. Yeah. And I always thought that, what's going on, or a lot of people start criticizing me or asking me that, what happened to you? Are you having a final phobia? But I always thought that, coming to the finals also is a good thing. Yeah, after coming, like when you come to the finals, winning and losing is secondary, but it's very important that you give your best. It's not that, I've been losing, but it's very important to know that, coming to the finals also is one thing. And then people kept asking me, when will you win? When will you overcome? I just told one thing that I think I will give an answer with my racket, and I've worked out, and I've shown them, like in December I won the World Tour Finals in 2017. So yeah,
absolutely, and we were so super thrilled at that point of time. You know, you are the first.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I won the World Tour Finals in 2018.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So this is obviously a Telugu fan, Harish. Lyrics from one of the Telugu songs says, "Sports is not about winning medals, but it's about war to win oneself every time you play." What are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree to that, because you also have to win against yourself, because there will be a lot of thinking in your mind where when you lose a point, you don't know what to do, or you think that maybe I should have played another stroke. But at the same time, when you're actually down trailing points, you think that what should I do, or sometimes you get depressed, sometimes you get upset, and sometimes you're like you just go blank. So that is when we say that first we need to fight against ourselves, and we need to come out from that. So it is very important.
You have been absolutely phenomenal today, Sindhu. Let me sort of end with a huge thank you. We are hitting the 40-minute mark. That's the time that we had. But okay, let me ask you this. Anindita is saying, what is the one thing you're eagerly looking forward to other than badminton? Other than badminton, I have added. But what is the one thing you're eagerly looking forward to post-lockdown?
Well, getting on court soon. I think that is the one thing, because we all have been waiting for so long, and we're very eager to get on court. So yeah, I think that is one thing. And apart from that, yeah, I really enjoy with my nephew. He's like a stress buster for me. So yeah.
PV Sindhu, world champion, super proud of you. Thank you so much for joining us in the Shivnada Foundation conversations. We so appreciate it. But let me get a promise from you that when all this ends and you have the time to pay us a visit in the Shivnada Foundation, we'll receive you with open arms and really enjoy this conversation going forward. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much once again for inviting me. And also, I think answering all the questions, and people asking me random questions, I think it's very nice, and a lot of people show their love and give me their blessings. I'm very thankful to all of them.
You made us so proud. Thank you so much. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a great month.
Bye.
Have a great year. And get the Olympic gold.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much.